It's 6 o'clock. Bring the meeting to order. Brian, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oops, it's not gonna work too well. Where put my glasses? For Christ's sake. Alrighty, so we've got three sets of minutes. The first is the January 28th, 2019 work session. Is there a motion?
I move that those minutes be approved as written.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Sorry, Brian.
Same.
Yep. Actually, Mike, you're abstaining as well.
Oh, yep.
What's that?
Same for Mike and Brian.
The next is the January 28th regular meeting minutes.
And I had informed Dawn that there were a couple of typing errors on those. The first one in the Conservation Commission report, she referred to the Conservation Committee. And then on the second page at the very end of it, where it talks, Paul was talking about the trees, and she wrote, "We have a lot of healthy tress as opposed to trees." And she said, she got back to me and said she corrected those electronically, but the copies had already been made, so the errors are still in the hard copies that we have in front of us.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor? Oh, with the exception of aye
Aye.
and two
Abstain.
abstentions.
Same.
And lastly, we have a February 7th, 2019 public hearing minutes. And Brian and Mike were not there as well. Is there a motion?
I move that those minutes be approved as written.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Same.
The Select Board will meet on the following dates. Regular meeting will be at 6 p.m. on Monday, February 25th, and also March 11th. Work sessions prior to the regular meeting will start at 5 o'clock. There will be a public hearing on Keno during the regular Select Board meeting on February 25th at 6:15 p.m. Town offices will be closed Monday, February 18th, in observance of President's Day. And all of the above meetings will be held at the Town Hall unless otherwise posted, and citizens wishing to be listed on the board's agenda should notify the Town Hall before 12 p.m. The Friday before the scheduled meeting. Alternate meetings are always needed to fill positions on the zoning and planning boards. If you're interested, please submit a letter of intent to the Plymouth Select Board's office at 6 Post Office Square in Plymouth. And we have a visitor this evening. Brandon Miller will discuss the farmer's market future. We're ready for you.
I just wanted to bring to the town's attention, we're from Local Foods Plymouth. We've been running the farmer's market for the past 4 years downtown. And the last couple of years, we've seen a drop-off in customers.
Want to sit and just drag a chair over?
And a resulting drop-off in vendors. And we would just like to ask for the town's support in possibly moving locations, possible financial support from the town. We have some kind of ideas laid out here that our advisory board has come up with. Right now, we could maybe financially run a market once a month, and we have gotten some negative feedback from customers about going to that idea, but we really don't have the finances to pay the rent at the senior center, pay for advertising, pay for the labor of a person to run the market, et cetera. So we were hoping to maybe surveying our customers last year, we found the most frequent comment was that I don't see you, so I forget you're there. So we were thinking that maybe if we moved to Main Street, people would be more visible and we might get more customers. We were hoping about maybe using the grassy area outside the town hall or possibly the common and approaching the university about securing some parking during the hours of the market, either in the lot back here behind the bank or the lot by the Silver Hall. At the back of this page is also a list. We found last year that our most successful market was when we did a special event. We did like a Children's Day, and Rand's donated the bouncy house, and we had the fire department down there doing a demonstration. That was our busiest day, so we came up with a calendar of possible events, like we could do special days as an additional way to kind of bring people down and bring different people. I would ask for the town's support also because I feel like this would potentially help some of our Main Street businesses with bringing different people downtown to, they might come buy something in the farmer's market and go over and grab an ice cream or order a pizza for the way home or grab a hammer.
Grab a hammer.
You never know.
And then what?
That's the second time that came up.
So just, basically if we're open to any ideas, but we're passionate about keeping this going, but we just really don't have the money to finance it this year.
So do you have at least an assumption that, if it is brought downtown, you would maintain the weekly or the, the farmer's market?
We could, yes, because that would eliminate $1,800 in rent, which is a huge.
It's a month?
No, it's the
$1,800 for the
18
summer. It's $100. The senior center charges $100 per week.
And musician, I thought the musician donated the time, but I guess not. You have to pay him, and then, I thought it was just tips or something like that.
No, we pay them, yes, we pay them $40, and then they are free to sell their CDs or ask for tips, or
Right.
quite often they leave with half a grocery bag full of stuff from the appreciative farmers, but it's not super lucrative for the musicians.
So there was, I know this was kind of I see, did you? There was an attempt to do this downtown in the past, and there was some concern or something like that, or someone didn't want it on Main Street, or was there?
The only question I'm aware of ever having been brought before the town was like someone had, I guess, made a request to maybe put it in the
close it-
common
or
and
close it
close
off.
Main Street, and I
Yeah.
guess the Main Street vendors were understandably wary of
okay.
that idea, which I'm not asking for that at all. I think that would cause chaos.
Too bad, I kind of like that idea.
I have to drive through Plymouth too, and I wouldn't want that.
So you think the town common or?
I measured out the, I don't know what you call the grassy area up front here where the cannon is.
That's why my finger came up.
We could fit easily like 25 vendors out there. If
Yeah,
that-
okay.
I haven't
Front-
measured the common.
Front, at the
By the,
common.
where the cannon used
No,
to be?
out front. I haven't measured the common.
How about across from the monkey?
Across
On the
from
slope?
Huh?
On that slope?
We've had other things up there, believe it or not.
I hadn't thought of that. Like that's
think-
that's great because I
think
don't
Brandon might
know.
want to look at it. It's,
Any ideas are great. So
Where-
I'd have to go look at that. I'm not sure.
What was the location you said?
right across from the monkey.
The
The property that we're trying
The
to
old
find something to
Plymouth
do with in
Inn.
the future. I'm talking about for this year. I'm not saying that we're trying to do something with that property. Anyway, it won't be happening this summer.
So my initial concern about using that would be parking, because if we have 20 vendors, we have to have a place for our vendors to park, or because they can't.
Right, I'm just
All
trying
their
to
product for
avoid
miles?
what's going to happen the last time, because as soon as you say the common, the parking that you're talking about, the Main Street vendors are going to
Oh, I understand, yes.
do the same thing that they did the last time.
Does it have
So
to?
that's,
Go ahead.
well, that's why you were suggesting.
This is kind of contingent on us securing some parking from the university,
Yeah.
but I wanted to go to the university with the support of the town.
Well, I'm fully supportive of,
Yes, thank you.
and I kind of envisioned this to kind of like take off, which I guess is kind of floundering, but, and I also wanted you to go to the book exchange and have like a boulanger, just a old French street inside there, but that's not going to happen either. now that's
Yeah,
something different,
virtual
but,
reality.
or a co-op where that property is that Paul was talking about, to do like a
On the old, what used to be there, the Plymouth Hotel?
Plymouth Inn, or it was, yeah, it was no hotel.
Yeah.
But, anyway, that's not gonna happen.
Does it really hurt if it's just outside of Main Street a little bit?
Where are you thinking?
If there was.
I'm not sure, like, I only have experience with having it at the senior center, and I know the first 2 years of the senior center were very successful, but after that, it seems to
I
have
know it's
fallen
very.
off. We spent a great deal of money on advertising last year, and we're very thorough with putting signs up, and we still saw a decrease in customers.
I know it used to be out on Highland and.
Yeah.
I was running
Pretty
Whole
small
Family Village.
on Highland
Yeah.
Street.
I mean, I was kind of thinking along that areas where there's gardens already. I mean, you have I don't know who owns
Where the bridge house
Alex.
is.
the
Oh,
whole
you think
village.
where the
there's-
gardens are?
Well, I was thinking about right by the baker, that area where the community garden is down
Yeah,
there.
that'd be Alex, I think. You're talking about.
Yeah,
Over
I'm
Floor
not.
Park.
It's right past the armory on the left, right by the PSU's parking lot.
Oh, where the PSU lot
That's where it
is.
used to be,
Yeah.
because there are gardens down there.
The
Vegetable
farmer's
gardens.
market was there?
Yeah.
Really?
just
I
thinking-
hadn't thought of that, so
I'm
I
just
don't.
thinking.
maybe-
I'm just thinking of parking. I mean, I know it's really it would be ideal to have it in downtown Plymouth, I think, but the reality of that with it hopefully bringing people in and the vendors parking and stuff like that. I mean,
And PSU is gonna help with the parking. That's an easier place for them. The students are going during that period, they don't use those parking lots.
it's less visible. That's the only downfall if it's just outside of.
Yes.
downtown.
But you're thinking if you can approach the university to get like silver parking or something like that, then anywhere around here might be
If you could
desirable.
secure silver parking for a few
How about
hours,
the,
yes.
the greens in front of Silver Center there? The greens
Possibly.
area.
That's pretty
That's pretty
swampy,
hilly,
though.
yeah.
I know, in the Common, they do that art show every fall, and that has lots of artists putting up tents, and
Mhm.
that's always a real boost of
Mhm.
people on Main Street.
There's electricity out there. And, I guess water. Water and sewer. Is there water? Yeah, there's water out there.
Where the common,
Yeah.
We're talking about every week. Though.
there's a leak that's been shut off at the statue.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, yeah, well, I mean, if you want to check with the university, this, first of all, nip that in the bud. I mean, I think, does anybody else have any comment on the
I've
desirability
usually
of?
seen them in other communities, like in a school ball field or parking lot, but ours is kind of off the beaten path, so it's not going to attract anybody.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
we were trying to go for
the idea of
visibility.
visibility is a big one.
And the only thing that ever stopped the common idea was the parking. But if PSU is gonna resolve that problem,
What would be the appropriate way for me to communicate with the select board to update you on if I can secure parking and where we're at with that? Should I come back to another meeting, or?
Yeah, you get an agenda or just stop by. I mean, we have a work session prior to the general meeting.
Brandon can just be in contact with me until
Right.
we have something more
I guess that'd be the easiest one.
solidified.
Perfect.
What about the amphitheater down there?
That's the
Kinda
same
on the
as
way,
the
though.
Still off the
senior
beaten path.
center, really.
Senior center, there's just not a lot of traffic on Green Street, so,
Yeah.
no one's accidentally finding us, or, they're not.
Yeah.
We try to make signs with arrows that point down there, but we're just not getting the traffic. We're really just seeing, at this point, it's just a lot of repeat customers
Yeah.
that we've had, so we need to broaden our base of support.
Yeah.
And also reduce that 1,800 down to zip. That'd be kind of good
Yeah.
for a senior center rental.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, Brendan, good luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good luck is right.
I'd hate to see the farmer's market go away.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow. What else we got here? Got, any committee reports? Mike?
Can someone, I got this in my mouth.
I'll start.
Yep.
The Community Campus Council meeting for tomorrow night is going to be rescheduled until the March 5th at 5:30 here in Town Hall. It was supposed to be tomorrow night, but because of the impending snowstorm again, they're changing it.
Okay.
Hasn't been a Conservation Commission meeting. They'll meet next Tuesday.
What'd you say? Sorry.
Conservation Commission, it hasn't happened, the meeting next Tuesday.
And there was an email from the chair of the Energy Commission asking the commission members if they, for their thoughts concerning, keeping that in sort of an on-hold status, but I haven't seen any of the feedback on that, so I just saw the initial email asking them for feedback.
Okay. How many members are still, do you have any idea how many members are
I
still on
want to
there?
say there were 5, perhaps.
Okay. No one else has dropped off. All right.
We had planning board meeting last Thursday, and we had a minor subdivision split, and we worked on the individuals going over the list of items, again, to find things that we can implement quickly and try to prioritize, and we did some more work on that. And so it's pretty much where we were at.
So there's been 3 meetings with the Plymouth Business and Economic Development Committee, starting on February 4th. We had our first meeting. No, actually, it was the Monday before. Then February 4th, we had a kind of a stakeholders meeting where we had business owners show up, potential developers, and give us feedback on what they'd like to see Plymouth do differently to try and attract more businesses. The downtown part of that meeting really wanted to see taxes lower and more parking. Then there was the other part of the conversation, which it was pretty too distinct. There was Kevin French and the developer that owns the business park where Penny Saver is, and so there's a lot of good information, but there's definitely 2 needs. One for more is downtown, one more for attracting more businesses and bringing them onto Tenny Mountain Highway. So that's where this committee is going, possibly even splitting up into 2 separate committees. I'm going to be working, I've kind of been doing some research, and I've gotten some articles that I've pulled off my computer on what other towns are doing, strategies. It's a lot of finding out what the capacity is for the town, finding out what our strengths and weaknesses are, what do we have going for us. So there's a lot of things that Plymouth has, and what I want to do is emphasize that and get it out through not just our town, but obviously New England-wide possibly. If there's a business and they're looking for a different town, Plymouth would be a great opportunity if they knew about it. So we want to try and get that message out. Part of what I've been researching too is that to grow your town, a lot of times it's grown within. So we have to think about the developers we already have here who already know about Plymouth and strengthen what we have too. So that's why we're looking at it almost like a 2-prong approach. So I expect to bring my nifty camera to Town Hall and get some pictures with Paul and Murphy, the Murphy. I don't know if that sounds familiar. No? No one? Okay. And you'd have to watch Z Nation to understand that. So So we want to get some pictures, write a dialogue, not a dialogue, but write some information down, really sell Plymouth, and not only just get this article out to New England-wide publications, but also feed it into the town website. So when someone calls up or they visit our website, there's the information, maybe a few more. I attended a meeting with Daniel Lee from the college. He's working with his middle school students on projects, so this is going to be a project for them as well. And they're going to plug in some numbers for us. What is the total population of, a 15-minute drive maybe of Plymouth for pulling workers to certain businesses? And part of the capacity for inviting businesses to Plymouth is we don't want a factory that's going to hire 400 people. It might be really hard to find the employees, but we've got a university in our community, and there might be, if the right business comes to Plymouth, and it's not just a $10 or $12 an hour job, but it's something more, they've got a supply of kids every single May to pull from possibly. But Daniel Lee's job is to find out what the population is, what maybe their education level is for this area, to be able to plug into sheets that we could then send out. So if someone gets this publication, they pick it up, they look at it, find out about Plymouth, they call up, they talk to Brian or Paul, then we might have a specific sheet that might go for someone who's thinking about retail. We might have another one who's thinking about more industrial, more high-tech, and we can be able to tailor our message to them and have something prepared.
Sounds great. Have a couple of meetings. That's
And
great.
Frank came to two of the meetings and has an incredible parking, the wealth of knowledge that he has. And so we envision him kind of working very closely with the committee that is more Main Street oriented, and really working with them to try and find more parking, because that is the big issue there. So thank you for coming, Frank.
Any others? Well, is there any public comment, Frank? Man. All right. Well, in that case, I think we have to go into non-public. Is there a motion under RSA 91A:3, Roman numeral 2, A through I, to go into non-public?
So move.
Second?
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. We're in non-public.